each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Hello, hello, hello. I forgot. Where'd I put my phone? Where'd my phone? Where'd I put my phone? Or should I call it my electronic leash? Gotta restart my phone before I forget. He's doing some funky. I was doing some funky things. Like glitching a little bit in the meetings. So a lot of times if you're having computer or electronic problems, just restart the damn thing. Turn it off for 5 minutes. A lot of computers and PS stations, Xboxes, your internet has an internal battery that keeps it going for a few more minutes to collect what's called ROM or RAM. Not sure which one it is. Random access memory. So be RAM. So turn it off for 5 minutes. Especially when it comes to Zoom. Zoom likes to hoard the devices stuff like the camera, the the other stuff. Wrong shirt. This is a hoodie. All right. And not only is it the right shirt. Thanks for that. All you did was give me a leeway. Because this is the way. This is the way. I don't own a Chiefs jersey or a Eagles jersey. So yeah. But good morning, everyone. I was going to go to a noon meeting and call out a bully, but I decided, I think I've been going to meetings and stuff. I think I might be not the last couple of days have been okay, but I've been kind of judgmental. So, I'm trying to put my own shit aside. They're all shirts. That's very much an inside joke. But anybody that comes here and I think it's pretty neat that we got a group of people that, if we're doing something, we all tend to show up. I think that's pretty neat. Um, I don't think that too many people in this life get that. Oh, I know you are. Will you make me one? Will you make me one so I can burn it? Oh, welcome to Daily Charge. My name's Dion. I'm really only doing this because I don't really have anything else to do, and I'm not working. I'm not going to do any work today. So I don't consider this work and going to AA meetings work. I'm also looking at taking tomorrow off. So if you're here, please say hello, whether watching the live or the rewatch. There's a lot of stuff that needs to get done, but my wife's coming back. Today's been 8 days, so get what I need to get done. I'm even halfway through the laundry already. So, all right, let's get started. The how of the program: honesty, open-mindedness, and willingness. These are the essentials of recovery. These are the essentials of recovery, but they are indispensable. And indispensable means you can't run out of it forever. As long as you are willing to do certain things, it's going to make the program a little bit, dare I say it, easier. Program's hard. It's not an easy program. It's not It's not for the faint of heart. Actually, it is. It's exactly for the faint of heart, actually. Right? So, does it all start with honesty? Does it start with open mindedness? Does it start with willingness? You know, I think willingness is probably the one. It's probably the one because we become willing to take a look that we're alcoholic and but there's something that comes before any of that, and that's an awareness. You can't be willing on something if you're not aware of it yet. So awareness comes before that. Now, it may be different for you. Maybe open mindedness is where it starts. Maybe I need to be a little bit more open minded and listen to these people that I may have some problems going on in my life that I just can't handle. Honesty. In this program, it is not an outward honesty that we are going for. A rigorous honesty is only inside. A rigorous honesty can only be done from within, in my experience. Because I found that when I'm honest with myself, I will automatically be honest with you, right? Because when it comes to honesty, lying is a habit. Lying is a habit, and being honest is also a habit. So, good and bad habits, right? So we're gonna go to how it works, right? We're gonna go to it. Um, this is the staple reading in Alcoholics Anonymous. Some meetings, it is all that they read. And I can understand why, because it covers a lot. It covers a lot. Um, in like three or four paragraphs, it pretty much goes through the whole steps or all the steps. So, but let's go ahead and get started. I have found when it comes to how it works, um, it tends to change on you. You know, you'll notice different things in the big book. Now, they were always there, but you became a different person. You became somebody better. You became more honest and open minded and willing to be able to take a look at these things. I was just listening to somebody. Hey, Michelle, good to see you. It's good to have you last night. That was a really good meeting last night. I'm 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 actually impressed with the meeting, man. I am. Um, So, and that has nothing to do with me. It's a we. That's the thing is, it's a we thing, and it can never be. It can never be a me thing. It has always got to be a we thing. Um, I like anybody else. I'm just a trusted servant, and there's freedom in being just a trusted servant because then I don't have to go running around changing the world. I have to change me. I have to make and it gives freedom to everybody. Um, what I really do like about that meeting is that it is all inclusive. That's how we're treating it. You know, we have one person because it's a closed meeting. One guy he came in, and it was his very first AA meeting. I am not going to expect somebody who is at their very first AA meeting just to admit that they're an alcoholic. Maybe they're trying to figure it out. But what they did have is a desire to stop drinking, and that's all that mattered to the group. So good job. Good job on being open minded. Alcoholics don't help just the run of the mill, hopeless, helpless, chronic alcoholics. No, we help a lot of people, a lot of different kinds of people. All right. Rarely have we seen a person fail who has thoroughly followed our path. Okay. Now, is your path going to look like theirs? No, but there is a path. There is a path. And I have also rarely seen somebody fail who has thoroughly followed the path. Yeah. Those who do not recover or are people who cannot or will not completely give themselves to this simple program. That's a hard one to completely give yourself to something. Whew. And notice it's a simple program. And why is it simple? Um, I tried reading the Bible and I couldn't get past the begats and this person related to this person, and it was just hard for me. So it was nice to find that it was put into a form where I could understand it. Because without accepting some tenets of what's going on, like that my life is unmanageable, okay? I've been hearing people lately avoiding the fourth step with well, I'm a very forgiving person. I don't, and then they continue to talk about the problem for 3, 4 minutes. That's a resentment. It's just because you're not angry, or resentment doesn't have to come with anger. It comes with fear, right? It's the fear portion that we're really looking at. Fear can come in a lot of different emotional forms. It can. Usually it's anger, but otherwise, yeah, yeah, Michelle, it was hard for us to accept it, wasn't it? But when it was presented by somebody that understood where I was coming from, there was a relief there because it felt like when I was reading the book that they were on my side. And gosh, I had a whole life of people not being on my side, right? So people will not completely give themselves to the simple program. Usually, men and women who are constitutionally incapable of being honest with themselves. And there it is. There's the honesty of the program. It is an internal honesty. I remember I was talking to my stepdad once. I think it was probably 21. No, I was younger than that. I think I was 19, 20. I've been in the program for a year and a half, and um, it was about a year and a half of sobriety when I moved in with my parents. Um, because I was doing well, and they believed that I was trying to do what it is that I needed to do. And I kept saying, to be honest. And he's like, Dion, quit saying that. Because every time you start your sentence with that, what you're telling me is you're not being honest. That what are you lying about? You're either going to be honest or you're not going to be honest. And I understood that. Now that doesn't mean that you can't say that, but he was calling me out on something that there had to be an internal honesty that when I could take a look at, okay, Dion, why am I upset? Well, I'm upset because da 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 da, and I can be honest with myself. Well, then I don't really need to say to be honest, do I? Right? Uh, Now, it was hard to figure out where I was being dishonest, and it was almost everything in my life. There wasn't a portion of my life where I wasn't being dishonest about something. Are such unfortunates. They are not at fault. They have seemed to be born that way. I was born a lying, conniving little shit. I was. Yes. Okay. Might as well have been a dry drunk the first 13 years of my life until I started drinking. Got in trouble, did what I wanted, bored in school quite often, right? I, I, I didn't mean to disrupt the class because I didn't. I tell you now, I can't think of one person from. I might be Jimmy Sinton. I remembered one. He was the only person that showed up to my birthday party of fifth grade. I I I've always been the odd duck. I've always been different. And because I was different, I started to lie so that other people would like me. Yeah. I didn't know any other way. I've always figured out how to be manipulative. I was born this way. I was born an alcoholic, along with all of its traits. And until I could find a higher power, bring them into my life, and be around a group of people that knew what it meant to be honest, that used to be like me, I would stay in that. What does it say? They seem to have been born that way. They are naturally, which means that's my default setting, incapable of grasping a manner of grasping and developing a manner of living which demands rigorous honesty. Okay? Find out. Give me the definition of rigorous honesty. Oh, they're not going to tell us. I'm going to have to read it. Rigorous honesty is the practice of being truthful and accountable. Accountable. Okay? 10th step, admitting we're wrong, things like that. In all aspects of life, especially when it's difficult. It involves being respectful, empathetic, and thoughtful when sharing your feelings, thoughts, or behaviors. What does rigorous honesty involves? Number one, being honest with yourself, being honest with others, being honest about your feelings, being honest about your actions. But see, they don't really talk about what rigorous honesty is. See, right here, being honest with yourself. Well, how do I do that? Being honest with others. How do I do that? I don't know. See, I had to be taught. So what was I? Well, I was naive. I was naive. And that made me feel stupid. Feeling stupid makes me mad, and now I'm closed-minded. There's the process. Yeah. See, the reason I get mad when people call me stupid or anything close is because it's old stuff, man. It's old stuff. Now it doesn't really bother me as much. Not as much. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. Okay. Like today, I woke up, I'm like, you know what? Since that motherfucker decided that he wanted to crosstalk while I was talking, I think I'm gonna go to the noon meeting and everything he says I'm just gonna put in chat and disagree with. The fuck thinking is that? And I made a decision to do it too. Well, yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do it now. Okay. I gotta be honest with myself. Okay. What are you going for? Well, I don't like it when I'm talking and somebody's like, well, you're just wrong. Because it makes me feel stupid. And then I want to hurt you. I want to physically hurt you. I'm being honest. So it goes through my mind. Like, you won't fuck. I'll fucking knock your ass out. Talk to me like, hey, no, no. Other people can make their own decisions. It is not up for me to go to that meeting and change people's minds and create division, to go somewhere and cause more confusion than harmony. See, not allowed to do that. That's honesty, and it's tough. Okay. Because in my mind, it's justified. Their chances are less than average. You know what? Just because I bought something or did something does not mean I want to rate it. I get more texts and emails. How do we do? Fuck off. That's how. It's like, I mean, I've been gone 3 minutes. I'm done with you, and now you're interfering with my life because you want me to rate you. If that's what you're after, I may not come back. I may not come back because this isn't a popularity contest. All right. They're asking how my ER visit was. It was a month ago. Okay. Anyway, there are those two who suffer from grave emotional and mental disorders, but many of them do recover if they have the capacity to be honest. I'm one of those people. I have other grave emotional issues. Okay. I have severe anxiety, acute depression. Now that's how it's written. Okay. And complex CP or complex PTSD. I always get that extra letter on there. Okay. And PTSD came with its own set of denial. It came with its own set. It was different. Okay. So when I did finally accept it for what it was, just like my alcoholism, I was able to do something about it. Okay. We tend to need to put in a little bit more work. We we tend things tend to take a little bit longer for us. Right. It took me a while to get all the way through those steps with everything else going on. Right. Trying to differentiate the difference between, an actual resentment and my PTSD, because I'm going to tell you something, they look a lot alike. They look a lot alike, but it was something that couldn't be helped. See, now it's just every now and then my phone just thinks that I asked it to do something and it starts recording everything I'm saying. I don't think that's quite it. I think there's certain key words that I may say that my phone wants to hear about. I've also found that those with grave emotional and mental issues that get through them seem to be the people that really, really make a difference in this program. They are able to go out, since they have healed from more, and that is not a challenge. Don't go out searching for PTSD. Okay. The more you've gone down, the more you can help, because you got more to go up. Right? All right. Our stories disclose in a general way what we used to be like, what happened, and what we are like now. This is how a speaker meeting runs. It's how the podcast runs. Okay. Few things. Um, it was an unsaid rule for quite some time that if it was your birthday, you were to share your story. Yep. Not quite that way anymore. But that's usually how we tell our stories. Okay. If you have decided, just a decision, you want what we have and are willing, just willing to go to any length, then you're ready to take certain steps. And what is that last line? Well, it's a step before the steps. Is step 0 is a psychic change of mind. I changed my mind. I don't want this life anymore. I have got to find a different life. Okay, it's all it is. Okay, it's where we decide that we want to get sober, and that my life is unmanageable, and then I'm ready to take certain steps. Okay. It would probably also include 1, 2, and 3 there. At some of these, we balked. I gotta do it. It's a stimming thing. There are certain things that I have to do that there are some things I do that I have to refrain from, and then I feel weird because I didn't do it. I know. All right. All right. At some of these, we thought we could find an easier, softer way. There is not. It doesn't exist. There's a lot of people out there peddling that it exists, but they're just looking for the easier, softer way. And it ain't gonna work. It is not going to, it won't work. We tried these ways before. We did. Okay. Alcoholics Anonymous been around for 90 years. I think we made, if we were a cult, everybody would have drank the Kool-Aid a long time ago, and it wouldn't be around. Okay. But we thought we could find an easier, softer way. I see people doing this all the time. All the time. Right? Now, and I've talked to quite a few. Well, AA didn't work for me. And all I really hear is you weren't willing to do the work. Okay. Well, AA is not your way. But I'll be happy to send you on another path to somewhere else that I know works, but you're still going to do all this work. Celebrate Recovery does this work. Okay. Smart Recovery does this work. Wellbriety does the same thing. Dharma Recovery, all of it. Yep. Al-Anon, CANA. Why? Because it works. Because it works. Right? There's a saying that those who do not learn from history are doomed to repeat it. And I'm watching a lot of people dooming themselves to repeat it. Okay? Because I know something. Once the alcohol is gone, you are, or I am, or we alcoholics, let's call it what it is, are just sober horse thieves, stealing horses. But now we look good doing it. So don't be a sober horse thief, man. The problem wasn't the alcohol. It was the stealing of horses and getting away with it. So when we can get away with inventing a whole new program because we have 2.5 years of sobriety, okay, which in the long run of things ain't shit. I mean, 2.5 years of sobriety for an alcoholic or any kind of addict addiction, I think, is a miracle, but it still falls very, very short of any kind of knowledge that you need in this to really get the whole aspect of it. I've been doing it a long time, and I've also got a clinical side to me. I've got a spiritual side to me. I've got different sides, right? Where I learned what it's about, what is going on. Okay. So at the same time, it's a balance there because there are some things that have come up that I absolutely agree on that would kind of seem new to people, but really it's just a different name from what we were doing before, so that people accept it for what it is. That's really all it is, right? But we could not, with all the earnestness at our command, we beg of you to be fearless and thorough from the very start. Some of us have tried to hold on to our old ideas, and the result was nil until we let go absolutely. Now, there's a lot of grays in AA, but there's also a lot of things that are black and white. And this one is black or white. It's going to be all or nothing. Okay. As honestly as you can. Right. So when we first get into the program, and honesty is the first principle, but I've been lying all of my life. How is this to be done? Well, the first two things that I said in AA that were finally honest was, the first thing was, my name is Dion and I'm an alcoholic. The other one was, I don't know. And I found freedom in I don't know. Found a lot of freedom in it. It allowed me to start over. It allowed me to be reborn. It allowed for a lot of things to happen because I found that all of my best ideas got me fucking drunk. All my best ideas landed me in jail. All my best ideas destroyed everything around me. I'm a very dangerous person when I'm drinking. Okay. I'm also a very dangerous person when I'm not drinking if I've done nothing about it. Yeah. So, I mean, thousands and thousands of years of trying to figure this out. I'm sorry, but there is no newfangled way. I was talking to somebody the other day. There's a new drug out that helps with the cravings. And they were bold enough to say, and you might eat, some people are even drinking normally. I'm like, I did not buy that one. I'm trying to be open minded, but that's going a little too far for me. That sounds more like a wish than a fact. Okay. Because I don't want my brain going, oh, there's a new drug out there. Oh, give me a bunch of it so I can drink a bunch. See, it just still isn't working for me. Okay. I think it's a very dangerous road to tread on. They also had some other things that I absolutely agreed with. So that was about finding a landing spot together that we can both agree on so that we can both support each other. I don't need to agree with everything on, of course, at the same time, that was mentioned in privacy, and I doubt very much that she would tell a client that. I don't think that she would. See? Because we were talking opinion. So, So we tried to hold on to old ideas, and the old ideas just they weren't working right. So remember that we deal with alcohol, cunning, baffling, powerful, and patient. We like to add patient onto that because it doesn't understand time. We say things like, yeah, alcohol is out in the parking lot doing push-ups waiting for me. Yeah, 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 sure. If that's going to help you figure out to do it the right way, great. I don't think alcohol has even gives a fuck about me. So, which just leads me to the same conclusion, right? So you can look at it a couple of different ways. But what we're trying to figure out here is this next part: without help, it is too much for us. That's why it's a we program. At first we come in and we don't want it to be we want it to be me, but then we start to change and then we do want we. And then we go we all the way home. It's a good one. Thanks. Thanks. Great dad joke. I tell grandpa jokes. I'm a grandpa. I moved up in the chain. It doesn't do me any good. The great thing about being a grandpa is I get to yes, you can have a cookie at midnight. That's fine with me, but I'm going to bed. You're on your own, kid. I'm a, I'm Gen X, and I'll give you the key to the house if you need in. Right? But there is one who has all power. That one is God. May you find him now. Half measures availed us nothing. Here's another black or white. You know, if you put the same effort into this program like you did your drinking, you're on the right track. Yes. Okay. They say to go to meetings like you drank. Well, I drank every day, all day. So I go to meetings every day. I already been to a meeting today. Plus, I've done one of these. That was a meeting. There was one other person here. This is another meeting. This is my third meeting today. Right? In a sense, where two are gathered in my name, we're gathered. I know I'm the only one talking. Not really. There's chat, you know. So, half measures about we stood at the turning point. We asked his protection and compare with complete abandon. A turning point. You ever hear of the crossroads? It's a blues thing where you make a deal with the devil and become a great guitar player or whatever. Well, this is the same thing where you're meeting God at a crossroads. But in this case, we're not really saying, give me this. What we're asking for is his protection and care with complete abandon. And don't think that you don't know how to do complete abandon. You were drinking on complete abandon. I was. You reach the point of fuck it's. Oh, that's complete abandon. Here are the steps we took, which are suggested as a program of recovery. I'm not going to do the steps. I think you know them, unless you want me to describe each step, but I don't think you want that. Not only that, but the noon meeting's in about 15 minutes. So many of us exclaimed, what an order! I can't go through with it. This is an elephant. There's only one way to eat an elephant. Bite at a time. No worries, Amber. I know you're listening. I know folks are. We don't. I don't think people just come on here, put me on, and then go do whatever. I know you're listening, but a lot of people drive and clean and take care of their kids and make dinner and all of that while I'm doing this. And go for it. Does not bother me at all. The fact that you are here and listening, I know that you're here. I can feel it. I can feel it. Have you ever watched one of these, like a rewatch, right? And nobody showed up? You see how different it is? It's different because what happens is when you come on, I can feel you. And I get these indicators, these internal intuition indicators on what needs to be said, what needs to be done. It's how I come up with topics. I'm a vessel of God. Okay. At first, it was very uncomfortable, but it was part of my empathy, and I have a very deep empathy. Okay. I'm an emotional vampire. I will speak, yesterday I saw a friend in the meeting, in a meeting, and you could see that they were not doing well. So I got in touch with them after the meeting, man. They gave me a call. They were able to talk it out because I give a fuck what happens to them. You bet. Now, if I would have done nothing, I would have felt like a horrible friend, right? You know, it's hard for me to let people sit there and suffer. I'm a I'm a person with experience, strength, and hope. A lot of it, strength and hope, man. I'm a hope dealer. I'm one of those people where those grassroots meeting, if every single person in that meeting is not feeling better, then we have not done our job. And they always seem to be. Great meeting, right? And if you aren't doing well enough, then we're going to stick around after the meeting, and we're going to make sure that you're okay, at least today, that you'll have a little bit of hope in your life, and that you can rest your head on your bed, knowing you did the best that you could that day. It's just another way of saying I love you. May have explained what in order. I can't go through with it. If I did it, if Michelle did it, if Amber did it, and the other person that's listening right now did it, you can do it too. Okay. And I've met people that have gone down a lot further than I did, and they did it. They did it. They died sober. They had a great life, happy, joyous, and free. Yeah, it is a tall order. It is. That's why you need a guide. That's why you need a sponsor. That's why we need the people in the program to help guide, to help guide. You know, and somebody asked me yesterday, Dion, I had a sponsee and they had a slip. Okay. And I'm like, well, they had a slip and then they called you. They went back to AA. Yeah. I'm like, that's progress. That is progress. Yeah. A, a slip doesn't mean the world ended. It means that you're a human being. That's what it means. It means that they met a problem that they could not solve. Okay. Go back to the third step, review it, because they're on the fourth step. That's where a lot of slips happen. Okay. But they came back. They came back. And that is something to be celebrated. Right. Like, so you give them a call now or text or whatever so that they can have a better night, knowing that it's not the end of the world, that they weren't a fuck up. Just because you had a slip doesn't mean you're a fuck up. All right. That is not permission to go drink. If you come back and be like, oh, Dion, well, you said I am not going to take that. No, ain't going to happen. Okay. But man, shit happens. But they came right back. Now, just because you had a slip, let's say you had 3 months and you were doing really well and then you had a slip, you did not lose those 3 months. You may be resetting your time, but this is where time's a fickle mistress. Right. All right. I can't go through with it. Do not be discouraged. No one among us has been able to maintain anything like perfect adherence to these principles. Nope, I do not. But thank God for that 10th step so I can correct them as I go so I don't have to feel guilty all day. I can start my day over. Okay? But I got to take care of those things. We are not saints. There's no saints here. It ain't Saint Dion, I could tell you that. The point is that we're willing to grow along spiritual lines. Make it nice and light and nice for us, right? No, you just have to be willing to grow along spiritual lines. Right? The principle we have set down are guides to progress. There's a principle behind every single step. Okay? If you go look for them on Google, Most of them are correct except 9. 9 is supposed to be justice. It always has been and it always will be. We claim spiritual progress. You said it in your head. I know you finished that line in your head. You can't help it because we hear it so much. Why am I cutting that off? Because there's a direction there. There's a direction, and the direction is we claim spiritual progress. So you got to claim it rather than spiritual perfection. Well, I'm not perfect, so that's what we go after. Now, just cut that line and start claiming your spiritual progress. How do you do that? Good job, Dion. Sit. Now I'm done. Nobody else needs to see it. I don't need to go tell anybody else. But I'm allowed to be proud of myself as long as it doesn't become prideful. Now, if I go brag online, you blew it. You blew all humility. All of it. Our description of the alcoholic, the chapter to the agnostic, and our personal adventures before and after make clear 3 pertinent ideas. You'd think it'd be 1, 2, 3 because of the way they wrote it. It's just something I always notice. I'm surprised more people aren't like, all right. A, that we were alcoholic and could not manage our own lives. That's step 1. B, that probably no human power could have relieved our alcoholism. Step 2. C, that God couldn't would if he were sought. It's all true. It's all true. All right. Before I find another topic to yak too long on, 6 minutes till your noon meeting if you're going to a noon meeting. So why don't we go ahead and stop there? I'm going to go to a noon meeting. So thank you, everybody, for being here. I appreciate it. I love you. You know I do. Peace out and have a day.